Hi everybody, this is Heather Coleman, your intuitive medium spiritual guide, and I'm really happy to see you here on this channel about so many things metaphysical. Now, you might notice the title of my YouTube channel is The 5 Elements Metaphysical, and so I'm always especially excited to do a video that touches on the 5 elements, and this one does. And if any of you were curious about what you just saw, this is my snake Beth. She's very gentle. She doesn't bite. She's not venomous. She is also an animal familiar, which is why I love having her help with videos. She is a spirit guide. She is telepathic. Sometimes she adds some amazing insight into our videos. So this is Beth. But yeah, so today we are talking about the 5 different types of twin souls that are out there. So much has been talked about, and just there's so much buzz around the concept of twin flames. And I meet a lot of people that say, I want to find my twin flame. And it's kind of interesting that that happened. And I'll tell you about why I think that's happened. But the truth of the matter is that everyone has some sort of twin, quote unquote, out there. Some are triplet. I have another video about that called Twin Flames and Soulmates, which you can check out. Today, in this video, I'm not going to get super detailed about the concept of twin and triplet and quadruplet. That'll be another video at some point because I want to give that justice. But just know that that's out there, that the idea that you can have more than one identical, and I'll talk about that. But today we're talking about the types of identical properties that you can have in souls. So the different types of souls that you can be identical to in some way correlate with the 5 elements or the 5 suits in tarot, which I think is just really cool, which just goes to show that the beings who designed this planet, and they knew exactly what they were doing. But so if you think of those of you that are familiar with tarot, think about this a little bit, and I'll mention this as we go through the 5 different elements which correlate to souls. You've got fire, you've got water, you've got space, air, and earth. So let's start with fire. Now in tarot, that would be akin to the suit of wands, or energy, creativity, your focus, your creativity, that sort of thing. Now, we've heard a lot about twin flame souls, and so that's just like it sounds. A twin flame pairing, mwah, isn't she adorable, are 2 souls that are identical in their fire element composition. So not everyone on this planet even has a twin flame, and of those people on this planet now that do have one, not all of them are even incarnate at the same time. But so that's what a twin flame actually is. We are not going to get too detailed into any of these. We're just going to talk about what they are today. Now, so we just talked about fire. Talking about water, the element of water. And in the suits, one of the minor arcana, in tarot, you'd have cups, chalices, or water, sometimes called all of those things. Now in tarot, the suit of water, cups, or chalices is equivalent to emotions, relationships, matters of the heart. And souls that are identical in their water composition are called twin wave souls. There are actually more total people walking planet Earth right now that do have a twin wave soul than a twin flame soul. So that's just what that is, because souls are made of the 5 elements, we could say, for purposes of today's video. So space, the element of space, is different from air. The best way to describe it in a real short way to help new people understand this, it's like outer space. Let's just call it that for now. So the element of space would be akin to major arcana in tarot. In tarot, major arcana sort of includes all 4 other suits. It's just something that's good to know. Now, so when we look at the element of space in terms of souls, we have what is called a twin ray soul that many people have. And in fact, everyone that is incarnate right now on planet Earth has 2 twin ray souls. Not all of them are incarnate at the same time, but just know that everyone who is walking planet Earth right now does have 2 or more twin ray souls. And that's again the element of space. And I also like to describe it as light. It is the best way for us to understand what that element is. It's light energy. It's again, the best way. A good way to remember this is, some of you already know that the Roy G. Biv spectrum, all the colors combine to make white. So it's just good way to remember that a twin ray or space element light, twin light soul, you could call it, that would incorporate all the elements. So that's actually your biggest match. That's an even bigger match than a twin flame or just a twin wave. So what I really mean to say with this is that your twin ray, or you could call it your twin space or light souls, are actually identical in all of the other 4 elements. So they're a bigger match than a twin flame can ever be. I do think that all of the buzz started around, cutest snake in the world, around twin flames, because fire is hot, passion is really nice, and we hear so much of this around romantic relationships. And I think this is why twin flames and that whole concept and that experience has gathered so much attention and just driven people to want it. Because romantic relationships, let's face it, we do want them to feel hot. We want to feel chemistry. And that's one thing you will have with a twin flame, or someone who's similar in fire energy to you. You will have so much of that passion and that good sexual chemistry. You will definitely, yes, that is one thing you will absolutely have with that. So now moving on, we've talked about 3 types so far. We've touched on twin flames or the fire element. We've talked about twin wave souls, the water element. We've just gone over twin ray or light, which are actually, that type of soul is the closest, let's say, soul DNA, a quote unquote match that you're going to have. There's also air. And these last 2, the reason I'm doing these other 2 types last is that I haven't fully settled on a term for these types of souls. I'd love to hear what you think. So while you're listening to this, if you have an idea for what we could coin this kind of soul, put your suggestions in the comments. So the element of air, there are people who have a twin, I have 2 words written down here, breeze or wind. You can have a twin breeze soul. I don't know, to me that sounds a little cheesy. Wind doesn't sound right, so that's why I'm like, I want to hear your ideas. But the concept is that you can have 1 or more souls. Some people do have 1 or more souls that are identical in the composition of the air element in your soul makeup. So that's what that would be. And for those of you that kind of like to correlate this with tarot, we're talking about air. So this would also be the element of air or swords, the mind, the intellect in tarot. And then the final type of soul out of our 5 types of souls that you can be twinned or identical is earth, the element of earth. Now in tarot, the suit, minor arcana suit of earth, is also sometimes called coins or practical. So it's anything that's physical that we do need to concern ourselves with. So in terms of souls, that would be the element of dirt, actually, or the equivalent, or soil. One thing that the angels are suggesting I say now is that part of the process of creating souls has to do with dealing with stars at various points of their life cycle, and there is some dirt or even ashes involved with that. So what's really fascinating about the element of earth, if you have your twin earth souls or your twin soil souls, twin soil could be a good term for this, is that a lot of ashes from stars would be included in that, from stars that have reached near the very end of their life cycle. And finally, if you have any ideas for what else we could call twin earth souls, earth is nice, although it's somewhat limited. And the reason I say that is that souls are not created on earth. It's just that the idea of earth is a good way for our minds to understand it. Because most people, when they think of earth, think of the soil, they think of gardening, the ground. But in fact, earth is not a soul creation or a soul birthing planet. So soil is a good word. But if any of you have other ideas for what we could call this, put them in the comments, because I'd love to hear. So just to a really quick recap, here are the 5 types of twin souls that are out there. By element, you've got fire, or sometimes called twin flame. You've got water, I call it twin wave. You've got the element of space, I call twin ray or twin light, and that encompasses all the others. You've got air, a name to be determined, and you've got twin earth or soil, as it were. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you're interested in learning more about what type of twin soul might be out there for you, and is that even someone you should be looking for? Or, and I think a less thought about topic, but maybe even more important, is if you're curious about people that are in your life, could be a lover or a spouse, but it could be your relative, your parent, your child, and whether or not you're identical to them in soul composition, let me know, because we can talk a little bit more about what these are and how they present in another video. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit that bell for notifications when new videos come out, and don't forget to check out my website if you're hungry for more, and that's heatherlcoleman.com. Meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week, month, wherever you are right now in your spiritual journey, and namaste. Thanks for welcoming, Beth.